Introducing the Egyptian Theater News Team, live from downtown DeKalb with Aaron Cronin, Brandon Pugh, Alex Nerad, Janine Holcomb, Nora Reeves, Cody Williams, Peter Lindsay, Alejandro Tracani. The Egyptian Theater News Team coming to you live on Facebook at the top of the hour, every hour on May 5th for Give DeKalb County. Get ready for lights, camera, donate.
Hello and welcome back. It's the top of the hour. It's 3 o'clock, right? 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock. So welcome back. We are going live again for Give DeKalb County, a 24-hour day of giving with over 120 nonprofits participating countywide. And let's see where we are at. We are currently at $10,775 raised. So that is 43% of our $25,000 goal. So very exciting. Oh, it went up. Just here, right now, guys, just in, we are at $10,810 raised at 81 donors. So just hot in off the presses from our newsroom. So very exciting. Let's take a look at who those donors are. Stand by. All right, let's give a big thank you to the Chulik Family Fund. Claudia, thank you, Claudia. Randy and Christy Hayes. Linda Matiszewski, I believe I said that right, Christina and Brian Severson, and Gerald Czar. So thank you to everyone who donated in the past hour. As you just saw, we just had an update, so there's a few more names that we'll thank at the 4 p.m. hour. So if you didn't hear your name called, don't you worry, we'll give you a thanks on the next one. But we have our next special guest waiting just downstairs, and I think I hear him, I think they're ready. We have Sue Graham, who was just here last weekend. We had CCT Frozen Jr. right here on our stage, and she is part of that wonderful program. And I'm getting the cue from our news crew that Alex is ready with Sue downstairs, so let's send it right down to the dressing rooms.
Thanks, Janine. I'm here live in our dressing rooms with our next special guest, Sue Graham with Children's Community Theater, or referenced as CCT. Yes. And you're currently the board treasurer as well as in charge of the summer camp, correct? Yes. Tell us a little bit about your history and how long you've worked with CCT.
I got involved with CCT back in 2007. I went from first just being a parent to being on stage in the family shows to backstage to directing, then on the board.
Well, with community theater, you end up kind of doing it all backstage. So what are some of the shows that you've done here with CCT?
We've done Annie, Oliver, Wizard of Oz. That was one of the last ones I directed here. And then Frozen, which just closed.
Yeah, so we had Frozen Junior here this past weekend, a fantastic show. It's always so much fun to see the kids on stage, and for a lot of times, it's their first time being on stage. Can you talk about what that's like, seeing these kids kind of go through the rehearsal process and get to be on stage?
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing experience watching the kids. When I first got involved, I didn't realize I would like that portion and what it entailed. But down here in this dressing room, we have a lot of very heartfelt conversations about the friendships they've made, the self-esteem. A lot of kids come to us who are trying to find their niche. Maybe they're not into sports. Sometimes they are too, that's fine. But then they get in this group and they start feeling more accepted and welcomed, and it's a pretty amazing experience with the kids.
Yeah, and I know I've heard from kids that did theater, you know, in their youth, they're now in high school or college, and talk about they credit it so much for kind of their confidence and speaking in front of people. There's so many things that, you know, kids can take away from this, even if they're not going to be on Broadway someday.
Exactly. I mean, we do have those kids who, or that's their goal, is to be on Broadway someday, but even if not, just the self-esteem and the confidence you get from being on a stage like this. It's a nice big stage, but then they learn that that's not intimidating, you know, after they're on there, and it really does open it up for them to be more confident in the rest of their lives as well.
In the last 2 years with the pandemic has been really tough for everyone in the arts, and CCT, wasn't able to do Frozen originally as planned. So,
we were so close. It was really sad experience because they had rehearsed and we're up to I think it was a month before opening, not even, maybe a month, and unfortunately it had to close down, and then thought maybe the next year, and no, still not yet. So it was so rewarding to finally get that show on the stage.
Yeah, and just amazing to see the kids. Frozen Junior was a lot of fun, and Children's Community Theater, in case people don't know, is all volunteer run, correct? Talk about the board and all the parent helpers and all the kids and everything.
Yeah, we are 100% volunteer ran. I don't get paid for positions, and we do that so we can keep the costs down, so it can also be more available at a really low price. Pretty much pay a $10 production fee for your normal productions and your $15 membership fee, and you're in. And so we do rely a lot on the parent volunteers, people like me who started off just, oh, this looks like fun for my child, and next thing you know, you're working your way onto the board. But it's a great experience, one I never give up.
And you guys are participating today as well in Give DeKalb County. CCT is one of the many nonprofits in DeKalb County participating. Just like us, we're raising funds today to go to help with the general operations of a nonprofit. And I believe you guys are raising the same thing, money to go towards kind of the general operating. And you just talked about keeping costs down for kids. Can you talk about what those funds go to help? If people donate today to CCT, what that's going to go and support?
Yes, if we get support, then we can do our programs such as our camps. We provide summer camps here at the Egyptian. That was available to us once you guys did some of the improvements you were able to do that gave us more space.
Yeah, we finally got air conditioning, and so last summer was the first time we were able to host a summer camp, and that was so cool to see. Tons of kids coming through, both with the beginner camp as well as the advanced camp. Being able to do that here in the summer. Previous summers would have been way too hot and humid to do that. So you guys are going to be back again this summer. So people supporting CCT today, as well as the Egyptian Theater, helps community events like that take place.
Yes, and we really appreciate it. We have our 2 camps in July that will be here, and it's a fantastic experience for them, once again, to be on the stage and here.
Yeah, so if kids out there or parents are watching and are interested in getting their kids involved and maybe in a show for the first time, that can be pretty intimidating. How do people go about that? How do they get involved? What's the process? Is there a stiff competition for trying out for these shows?
No, we are no cut. So anyone who wants to be in the show is allowed to be in the show. So that's one of the things, because it can be very intimidating to audition and worry if you're going to have a part. So everyone gets in to have a part, and usually they work their way up to bigger parts, and so everyone can get involved.
And what are the ages that are involved in CCT?
7 to 18.
Okay. So talking about our the summer camps that are going to be here again in July of this year, can you talk about what the difference between those 2 camps are, and again how people would go and get involved with those?
So the camps we're doing a beginner's camp. That's for kids entering 1st grade through entering 7th grade, and that is a camp whodunit.
Okay.
We're going to have kind of detective type plays that each of the groups
Very
will
cool.
do. And then the advanced camp is we're doing Chicago, the teen edition.
Very cool.
They, in 2 weeks, put on a whole production that, it's pretty amazing what we can do in 2 weeks with that one.
Yeah, I mean, so last summer the advanced camp was Legally Blonde.
Yes.
And to see these kids put together a show in 2 weeks is absolutely incredible. So talk about teamwork and self-esteem. Like, you really don't have any time to be nervous, because you got to memorize your lines, memorize your blocking, the dancing, the singing, all that stuff, and be ready to be on stage.
Right.
So when can people start signing up for that, and how do they get involved if they're interested in those summer camps?
Yeah, registration is open.
Okay.
The easiest way to find it is on our Facebook page, CCT of DeKalb.
Okay.
But you can also go to our website, cctonstage.com.
Alrighty. And anything else you want to say to people out there today? We encourage people to, most people are donating today to multiple nonprofits. So we really don't see it as a competition between nonprofits. If you're interested in supporting the arts, CCT is a great organization, just like the Egyptian Theater, to be able to support and see the direct impact that you have in the community. So what would be kind of your pitch today to donors out there in supporting the arts in DeKalb County today?
So we have some great arts out here for the kids as well as adults. I think both the Egyptian Theater and Children's Community Theater are great places to invest in the future of the arts in our community and in the children.
Yes, here at the Egyptian Theater as a nonprofit, it's so rewarding for us to see kids be able to come in here, whether it's this past weekend, with Frozen, and again, seeing them on stage for the very first time and building that confidence and just seeing their, eyes light up. The pandemic we talked about in this interview, a lot of these kids, if they weren't in sports or some other things that kind of, still happened during the pandemic, a lot of them haven't had the chance to be on stage, and so now they're finally getting the opportunity to get back and doing what they love, whether it's dancing, singing, acting, to be on stage. So we're so excited to have this partnership with CCT. It's been long. We were discussing right before we came live on here how long it's been, and we're pretty sure it's back to the 90s that Dee Hewer started with Children's Community Theater. So it's been a long time that CCT has been in our community, giving opportunities for kids to be on stage, and the Egyptian Theater is just so proud to be host of that. So hopefully you enjoyed Frozen Junior this past weekend. Hopefully you'll come and see the beginner and advanced camps this summer. And now's the time to go online and get your kids registered for that to participate. And then I'm sure it won't be too long before we hear more announcements about other shows in 2023.
Yes, we have them in the works. We're not ready to announce yet, but really soon.
So stay tuned for that. Not coming today, but coming to you very soon on the CCT's Facebook page as well as website. Yes. So I want to thank Sue for joining us today, and we're going to send it back upstairs to Janine. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex and Sue, for that wonderful interview, and we were so excited to have Frozen Junior here on our stage just this past weekend, even with a great school show of over 500 elementary school kids just right there in our auditorium. So let's see where we've made it to since we last spoke. We're still at 10,000. Oh, 820, a $10 jump. Way to go. That brings us to 82 donors. And remember, once we hit that $20,000 threshold, that unlocks a $3,500 booster from our board of directors. And one more figure to throw at you. You guys already unlocked that $5,000 boost to the bonus pool by getting $250,000 donated before 10 a.m. Now, the next challenge. Get to 2,000 individual donors, and that unlocks another $5,000 that goes right into that bonus pool. And they're currently right between 1,400 and 1,500 donors. So tell your friends, tell your families, tell your neighbors, tell your pets, and that way we can unlock another $5,000 to that bonus pool that supports all the nonprofits all across the county. So I'm going to be heading into the news van. I'm on the road for the next one, and I will see you guys at 4 o'clock.